Falling for my best friend's ex-girlfriend and I don't know what to do takes Jack's emotional journey to new heights. Amidst the chaos of betrayal and revenge, he finds himself drawn to Sarah, his unlikely ally. This chapter explores the tangled emotions of newfound attraction amidst a backdrop of betrayal. As Jack grapples with his feelings for both Sarah and his estranged wife, the story dives into themes of love, confusion, and loyalty. The narrative builds to a crescendo of emotion, with a cliffhanger that leaves you questioning the choices of the heart, compelling you to discover how Jack navigates this complex web. Chapter 5. Falling for my best friend's ex-girlfriend, and I don't know what to do. Life, I've come to realise, is a series of unexpected turns. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, it throws you a curveball that knocks you off your feet. And there I was, right in the middle of the biggest curveball of my life. Sarah and I had been meeting for weeks, planning, talking, sharing pieces of ourselves in the process. It was during one of those late-night conversations in the cafe, the rain pattering against the windows, that I realised something that shook me to my core. I was falling for her. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? Falling for the ex-girlfriend of my best friend, the same best friend who betrayed me with my wife. It was like a tangled web of emotions, and I was caught right in the middle. Sarah was different from Emma in so many ways. Where Emma was gentle, Sarah was fiery. Where Emma was cautious, Sarah was bold. And it was those differences that drew me to her, like a moth to a flame. In our shared pain and quest for truth, I found a connection with Sarah that I hadn't even realised I was missing. But it wasn't just about the connection or the shared goal of exposing the truth. There was something about Sarah herself that captivated me. The way her eyes lit up when she talked about her passions, the way she laughed, a sound that seemed to chase away the shadows in my heart. She was like a beacon in the midst of the storm that had become my life. And yet there was Emma, my wife, the woman I'd loved and built a life with. Despite everything, I couldn't just switch off those feelings, couldn't just forget the years we'd spent together. It was a mess of emotions, a tangled knot that I didn't know how to unravel. One evening, as I sat across from Sarah, the cafe around us a blur of background noise, I found myself opening up about my feelings. It was like standing on the edge of a cliff, not knowing if you're about to fly or fall. I don't know what I'm doing, I confessed, my voice barely above a whisper. I'm here, planning this revenge with you, and all the while I trailed off, unable to put into words the turmoil inside me. Sarah reached across the table, her hand covering mine. It was a simple gesture, but it felt like a lifeline. Jack, it's okay. We're both in uncharted waters here. It's okay to feel confused, to not have all the answers. Her understanding, her acceptance, it was like a balm to my soul. And in that moment, I let myself lean into the feelings I had for her, just a little. It was frightening and exhilarating all at once. But even as I grappled with my growing feelings for Sarah, Emma reached out to me. She wanted to meet, to talk about everything that had happened. A part of me wanted to refuse, to shut her out as she had done to me. But another part, the part that still remembered the good times, the love we'd shared, needed to hear what she had to say. So I agreed to meet her in a quiet corner of the park where we'd spent many lazy afternoons together. Seeing her again after everything was like a punch to the gut. She looked the same and yet entirely different. There was a vulnerability in her eyes that I hadn't seen before. "We need to talk, Jack," she said, her voice quivering with emotion. "I need to explain." And so she did. She talked about her loneliness, about feeling neglected as I threw myself into my work. She talked about Tom, how he'd been there when she felt most alone. It wasn't an excuse, she said, but she needed me to understand why it had happened. Listening to her, I felt a swirl of emotions, anger, pain, but also a flicker of understanding. It didn't excuse her betrayal, but it added layers to the narrative I'd built in my head. I left that meeting with Emma more confused than ever. My heart was a battleground, torn between the past and the present, between what I had lost and what I might gain. And just when I thought things couldn't get more complicated, they did. A discovery, a revelation that changed everything I thought I knew. It was like a missing piece of the puzzle, slotting into place and turning the entire picture on its head. So here I am, caught in the middle of this storm, my heart torn in two. Do I hold on to the past, to the love I had with Emma, or do I embrace the possibility of something new, something exciting and terrifying with Sarah? It's a question I can't answer, not yet. But one thing's for sure, this story is far from over. There are secrets yet to be revealed, decisions yet to be made. And I, Jack, am right in the heart of it, trying to navigate these turbulent waters. And that's where I'll leave you for now, on the edge of your seat, I hope. Because this journey, my journey, is taking another turn, one that I never saw coming, and I can't wait to see where it leads.